An interesting picture's developed here on the course, most uncharacteristic for the racing we've seen so far. If you were taking off from Heathrow right now and looked out of the left-hand window as you came up over the Dorney Lake course, you'd see not the typical arrowhead, the chevron that we've been talking about, but for much of the race so far, lane order has been the same as position order, so with lane 1 in the lead and lane 6 at the back of the field. That's starting to change now, however, just short of 1,000 metre, and we have two races, if you like. There's a group of 3 very closely bunched at the head of the field. That's Paraguay, the early leaders, together with Estonia and Slovenia, and then there's a little bit of clear water back to the other 3, and that's Brazil, Lithuania and Norway. And moving away from the 1,000 metre mark, the C final, well, that's about positions 13 and onwards, 13 through 18 in the 6-boat race. And now showing at the front of the field, Estonia and then Slovenia. And I must say, I've got enormous respect for the rowing federations and indeed all sporting federations in countries like Slovenia and Estonia that didn't even exist as countries in their current form 25 years ago, to have built up not only modern democracies in that period, but also modern sporting programs. The classic example, of course, is Croatia, that's able to compete at international rowing at the very highest level, international football, international tennis, and other sports besides. But Estonia and Slovenia have made a mark for many years now on the rowing scene as well, and that requires a huge amount of reorganization when previous Soviet or Yugoslav or whatever systems it is collapse, including all the sporting funding, and then you have to rebuild it all from scratch. And great work done by them, as it has been in Lithuania as well. And Lithuania now coming through more strongly as well to challenge their Baltic rivals from Estonia. Slovenia, though, in the lead. They're still about a canvas up on the Estonian crew in the lane next to them. The Lithuanians about another half a length down on Estonia, and the early leaders, Paraguay, who went off to a cracking start, then had a bit of a wobble. They're now slipping back into 4th or possibly even 5th place as the Brazilian lineup of Mufato and Mendes comes up more and more strongly, several lanes to their left. Bringing up the rear at the moment is still Bjørnevik and Hilset of Norway. In the lead, though, and more clearly by every stroke, Grobelnik and Bultic of Slovenia. They head up Kuzmin and Lesmond of Estonia. Quite a few Kuzmins involved in Estonian rowing, and good to see the next generation here coming on as well. The Lithuanian line of Mikuš and Statkus, well, they've decided that this is the moment to have a little extra push just near the ticketing office as one comes in to the course here. There's one tall tree that grows near the turning circle at the end of the car park. Then comes the ticketing office, and now the River and Rowing Museum, and then a whole string of further tents, including the one selling the new official FISA World Rowing merchandise, and many others, including boat makers and oar makers, all stretched down the course here before we get to the big grandstand screen and the catering tent. Slovenia and Lithuania battling it out at 1750 together with Estonia. That's still the leading trio. The lead, as I say, has changed hands a couple of times. Slovenia is still just ahead at the moment. And those of you who are watching this on the big screens can see how very, very close it is when the picture comes from the right angle. Difficult, of course, to tell from a diagonal shot, particularly from the roof of the boathouse. When that pans out to become straight, you can see how close these crews are together. One other way, of course, to watch is to watch the stern of the boat instead of the bows, and you can see the water just coming away from the stern, and that tells you a lot about how the boats are running on, and, of course, who's in the lead. Slovenia now back in the lead. Lithuania, though, looking better and better over this last quarter, and they've gone really slicing through Estonia. And Norway, they've decided to pick it up now over this last quarter and have overtaken Paraguay very clearly, and Brazil just about. It's going to be close to the line, though. I think Slovenia get there just ahead of Lithuania. So in a C final, that's place 13 for Slovenia if that's confirmed. And the remaining crews now all coming to the line as well. Paraguay completing that sextet in the C final of the men's pairs.